Do portable AC units like this really work? Are they worth it? Are they worthy of £150? You can pick up something like this on Amazon. Well, in this video, I'm going to put it to the test a little bit. Let's see how this goes. Straight off the bat, this is just some old, slightly broken unit from work that used to be in one of the stores, and I had to kind of jimmy rig something together to exhaust this because I don't have a window kit or anything else. So it's going to be exhausted out of the extractor hood through the kitchen, and this room is 8 meters. It's 3 meters wide, 8 meters long, and it's got 9 meters of glazing around here at the end. Oh, we've got clothes hanging everywhere, brilliant. But as you can see, we are surrounded with lots of glazing. So on a hot day like today, let's have a little look at the temperature, shall we? Google says 27 degrees. The Vaillant outdoor weather temperature sensor I have is saying 26.2 degrees. The internal temperature is 23.3 degrees and rising. It's 12:23 and the sun is directly overhead and it's slowly coming round and it's slowly starting to come in through the glazing. So this room is going to warm up quickly. Let's turn the AC on. I'm going to shut the doors and then we're going to give it an hour and we're going to see what it can do to the temperature. Okay, power on. Right, there we go, we're on cooling mode. We're definitely in cooling mode. Okay, oh, we're gonna have to fix that a little bit. Okay, we made some modifications and I've figured out how to set the temperature, desired temperature to 16 degrees. It is feeling ice cold against my knobbly knees, so let's see where we go. And we are now reading 24 degrees since I came over by this temperature sensor, and the sun is really coming in. So what about power consumption? We have been exporting quite a solid 5 kilowatts for the last few hours. So it's down to 4.3. What does that translate to in our solar app? Well, currently the generation is 5665. And then by the time that is converted to AC and we're exporting to the grid. Right, so the home consumption is showing 1000 watts. And if I flick that over, you'll see that our baseline consumption is over just about 100 watts. So the combination of the extractor and the AC is using 800 to 900 watts at the moment. And I expect that to come down a little bit. Maybe the compressor will kind of back off a little bit, but maybe not if it's targeting 16 degrees. So that's where we're at with power consumption. Okay, we're just coming up to 3 o'clock now, so it's been running for a couple of hours, and the air coming out of this thing, it is ice cold air coming out, and we've had to kind of plug a few gaps to make sure all the warm air is being extracted out and being taken out of the room. So as I said, we're coming up now. It's 2 minutes to 3. It's now 29 degrees outside. What do you think the temperature is now in this room? We've got plenty of sunshine coming in. You can see it's directly now on the tiles on the ground. And I should get my thermal imaging camera out. It's very warm. Glass is very warm. So we're kind of fighting a losing battle. But after those 2.5 hours plus, we are now at 24.5 degrees. So yes, the temperature has risen in here, but I fear that the temperature outside has risen by a much greater extent, and the sun has come round the building now. Now that we've got the sun directly on the glazing round here, this room warms up so quickly, and normally at this time of day, the last couple of times we've had this little crazy heat wave, this room would get up to kind of 26 degrees, something like that. So I think we're actually doing pretty well at, still in the 24s. I'm going to continue to let this little portable air con unit. I should have given you the specs on it. This is a 9000 BTU unit. If you look on most of the guides, they would not recommend it for this room. Most of those guides would push you towards like a 12,000 BTU unit to try and cool down a space, not just this size, but with that much glazing. So I'll give you an update in a couple more hours. Okay, final check-in. We made it through to 6 p.m. The internal air temperature in this room is now 27 degrees. And this thing has been working absolutely flat out, ice cold air. I should get the thermal imaging camera. It's very warm air being extracted out. So we know that it's working out of the exhaust point. The hood is getting nice and warm, but as you can see, we're fighting a losing battle. Look at the sunshine coming in here. We didn't really stand much of a chance, but we gave it our best shot. And that is the result of the little experiment. Okay, here's a quick idea of what we're looking at. You can see 40-degree air temps there, and going out of the hood, and perhaps the blanket is not doing the best job in the world. Maybe we could have reinforced that a little bit, but you can see the hot air exhaust there, 44 degrees. Is that what we're reaching? Yeah, 44.9 I think was the highest I saw. And then you can see the normal floor tiles, kind of 24 degrees, 23 degrees over here. And in the sun, what have we got? We got 31 degrees, the floor tiles are. Yep, not as warm as me. And of course, very warm glass and frames and stuff. And even the chairs are very warm. But what I wanted to show you was the outlet temperature, 14.6, 14.7 degrees. You can see obviously where the compressor's down there working hard. 40 degrees, and if I take it back, you can see the bigger picture. You can see where it's nice and hot. Oh, I'm doing a terrible job with this. You can see where it's very cold. That's your little thermal imaging camera check. I continued this experiment on for day 2. So this is 8 a.m. in the morning, and that room was at 25 degrees. So I started the AC at 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is what happened. Was running at 16 degrees. Oops, spoiler alert, that's coming up for another video shortly. By 10:55 in the morning, it had cooled that space down to 23.6. At the same time as it doing this, the outside temperature had increased significantly. I should have logged more data. I should have put some of my sensors that actually log these temperatures. So this is just kind of rough and ready. This was just a very basic experiment. However, by 5:27 p.m, it was 27 degrees inside that space, and the external temperature was around 29 degrees. So clearly that AC unit could not keep up with the cooling load necessary. Now, to calculate the cooling load and the size of the AC unit, there's loads of these basic heat load calculators and cooling calculators, and they're very basic, and you can put in some basic figures and stuff, but you can't actually put in the fabric of the room, and you can't do very accurate calculations in most cases. This one, for example, it says 1.8 kilowatts required if the external temperature is 28 degrees and you want an internal temperature of 22 degrees. That would be excellent if 1.8 kilowatts could actually do that. Unfortunately, if you go through into some videos like this is quite a reasonable, easy way of doing it. This one was my favorite from the engineering mindset cooling load calculation. It was excellent. Also, they have an article on their website, theengineeringmindset.com, that actually brings me in at needing closer to, so I did the same calculation at 28 degrees external, 22 degrees internal. That brings me closer to needing 3.2 kilowatts, which I don't believe that unit was outputting. So Google tells me that 9,000 of those BTUs, British thermal units, ridiculous. Why aren't we talking in watts? It's 2,637. I just realised you can't see that. 2,637 watts. And so maybe I would need even more. But certainly, to be on the safe side, for that space, we would be looking at a 3.5 kilowatt AC unit. And potentially being more like taking preemptive action, you know, running that much earlier in the morning, cooling it down in the cooler part of the day, so that the area is already kind of preconditioned for when it gets to the height of the sun in the middle of the day. Anyway, I hope that was kind of interesting. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. I do have some ideas of where we could put a split AC unit for the future, because these summers just seem to keep getting hotter and hotter every single year. And yes, we can open a few windows and we can cope with it for a couple of days a year. So I know it's a first world problem, really. But, you know, when you are working from home and it's uncomfortable throughout your whole work day, you start to think, maybe it's worthwhile looking at and investing, and you do get some supplementary features such as dehumidification and also some heating as well, another heat pump for heating. Anyway, I'll leave it there. You'll definitely see more on this coming shortly on the channel. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, blah, blah, blah.